just have a feeling.
I got a feel. Oh, hey guys, how you guys doing? Jarryd was getting ready to start swinging some black eyed peas for us right beforehand, but you know, no, what is good, everyone? How you guys doing? Welcome to the first episode of the Renegade Roundtable podcast of the off season. I am Jeff. That is Jarryd. And yeah, first and foremost, Jarryd, how the hell are you doing?
Busy man. It's been crazy for me this week, at least. Haven't caught up with any Steeler news this week besides Deontay. That's all I'll say.
Let's just say if you are a part of Steeler Twitter, you know. You already know. And if you're not, well, don't worry. We got you because, oh boy, we're about 3 days into the off season, and it's going to be a long off season.
Yeah, time will tell. It's going to be a
long one. But, obviously, like I said before, we're officially into the off season. And sucks that we are not playing in the quote-unquote single elimination tournament, as what Coach Tomlin likes to call it. But at the end of the day, I think I said this last week. We did our part in terms of last week in specific. I can't get mad at the New York Jets. They're not the reasons why we're not in the playoffs. Actually, you could say yes, they are, but not because of that game. Because if we losing to the Jets, losing to the Dolphins, losing to the Patriots, those 3 games are going to haunt us for the next 8 months. Because you look at that New England game, once again, we should have a drinking game. For every time I mention that you and me were at that game, you should take a shot. You might be dead by the time this offseason ends. But, yeah, we were at that game. It was not a fun time. I mean, it was the first game without TJ Watt. You couldn't stop Mac Jones. You couldn't stop Big Mac himself. You let Nelson Aguilar, Moss, Ahkello Witherspoon. You could not stop them to save their lives. Costly turnovers. Look at that Dolphins game. You had 4 gifted interceptions. All dropped. Miami didn't drop their interceptions. Not at all. The Jets game. 3 turnovers in the second half. Letting Zach Wilson, gritty, in your end zone after catching a touchdown pass. Not throwing, catching a touchdown pass. That dude is going to be trying to sell you car insurance in the next 2 years. Or he might be going to look for more Cougars, but we'll keep that for a different day. I can't blame the New York Jets from Sunday for losing that game as the reason why we're not in the playoffs. I'm sorry. I can't. And I know I really have not seen a lot of Steeler fans truly blame that. And I'm happy to see that. I'm happy to see that because they're realizing, because for those that were doing that, it was just another one of those comfort things. And no, you can't do that. There was no reason why you should have lost those 3 games. If you win 1 of those games, you're in this weekend. But you're not. And here we are.
It is what it is. We can't control our destiny. You got to blame ourselves. Can't blame anyone else.
Now let's look into. I want to kind of recap a little bit this season, the 2022-2023 campaign for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Kind of maybe go a little bit by position in a way. Talk about the quarterbacks, talk about the running backs, receivers, and all that. We'll kind of get into all that and the defense as a whole. Starting off with the quarterbacks. Quarterback situation was obviously a weird one, to say the least. You had to deal with, Kenny Pickett being the rookie and also having to deal with Mitch Trubisky. Now, we also, for a lot of people, including myself, I did not necessarily like the way that Mitch Trubisky or that Mike Tomlin handled the quarterback situation going back to camp. If it was a quote-unquote quarterback competition, but in reality, it was not. It wasn't. And it's weird. So I was listening to an interview earlier this week with Michael Lombardi. And he's a former GM for the Browns and for the Raiders. And it's got brought up. And he said, listen, they practiced together. It was a quote-unquote competition. But I'm sorry, that's one of the things that I have to disagree with. If you're quarterback, if you're having a true quarterback competition, and only one quarterback is getting first-team reps, it's not a competition. You knew damn well who you were going to go with, and that was that. You were getting him ready to go. As simple as that. There was no reason to not at least give Kenny Pickett a little bit of first-team reps. I don't know. That kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And I wasn't even fully against Mitch Trubisky starting off at the beginning of the year. If you would have had a competition at the beginning of the year, a real one, and say, listen, Mitch Trubisky played a little bit better, we're going to go with him to start off. Okay. I can live with that. But not the way that Mike Tomlin handled this. And this was his first one. And I understand it was a quote-unquote 3-quarterback race. We all knew damn well that stone feet Mason Rudolph wasn't going to get a real shot. Unless your name is Mark Cabali, which no disrespect to Mark Cabali. I like Mark Cabali. I might call out some other media members later on in the show. Who the hell knows? We'll see how I feel a little bit later on. But, because Mark Cabali was one of those real Mason supporters. Mason lovers.
Really loved him.
Really
I don't know why.
Look at this here. We'll put it this way. There were fans in Cleveland that were rooting for quarterbacks that had no reason being in the NFL. So, I'm sorry. It happens. But it was between Mitch Trubisky and Kenny Pickett, and there was absolutely no competition. None. And that's what frustrated me about it. In terms of going back to camp. I agree with you. The way how, because you could tell by when Kenny Pickett came in the Jets game, the second half, he hasn't had practice against his first team reps that week or at all. No, he had yet to have first team reps
at all, which is honestly, it's not right. It should be you should at least get it.
Well, in terms of Mike Tomlin's case, it was right, because according to Mike Tomlin, he probably didn't even want to start Kenny Pickett at all this year.
Probably didn't, but you know how the fan base is. They're going to get what they want eventually. Maybe.
Eventually. It took mediocre Mitch. It went from mediocre Mason to mediocre Mitch to killer Kenny. Oh, I kind of like that. Killer Kenny. Okay, I might start that. Killer Kenny. I might start that.
But like I said, turnovers were the big issue. That's why probably Mitch got benched. You can't turn the ball over.
The offense was just completely stale. The offense was so stale that there was no choice. You had to. There was nothing that you could do. Oh my God. The more that I think about it, the more it just pisses me off.
Yeah, it's the reason because, they signed him. That was their backup plan in case, whatever quarterback went to him in the draft, Because no one, let's be honest, in the draft, did we really think we were going to get Kenny Pickett? I thought it was a chance. A chance, but I really thought maybe it would have been Malik Willis.
Did you think that Kenny would have already been gone?
Yeah, I was thinking maybe he would go to Carolina.
Okay, I'm actually going to go now. Since you're talking, now you have me wanting to go back to my old mock draft. Now I'm looking into my mock draft. I want to see who. Let's see here. See if I can find it. But
like I said, it's just that was the only reason Mitch was there. On a cheap deal, so he could prove himself, and he's gonna be a backup quarterback.
Okay, I actually did have Kenny Pickett going 20.
And wow.
Let's see. I had Malik Willis going 6. He be.
Oh wow.
And then I had Kenny Pickett going 20, and then that was it for quarterbacks, which probably was the way that we thought that would go.
And which didn't, which surprised us. But with Mitch, I don't know. I was okay with signing him, yeah. But like you said, if they had a real QB competition, he played better, we all would have been okay with it until he played poorly, of course, in the season.
Right. But yeah, I mean, so looking into the actual season for Kenny, let's talk about Kenny Pickett here. 63% completion. Not the greatest in the world, but you know what? There's room for improvement there. It's not below 60%. I can live with that for now because I feel like there can be improvements with that. 2,404 yards, only 6.2 yards an attempt. Something I don't like necessarily to see. Only 185 yards per game. 7 touchdowns, 9 picks. He was sacked 11 times.
I guess.
And yes, and down the stretch. Now, let's be honest. 6 of those interceptions came in 2 games. In the first couple starts. He had, 1 or 2 interceptions since the bye? So, there was improvement in there. There was improvement in his decision-making in terms of not turning the ball over, which is exactly what Mike Tomlin wanted to have happen. The way that we played this year is exactly how Mike Tomlin wanted to play this season. He wanted to have low scoring, very conservative offense, let the defense win it for you. That's what he wanted. No risk
like you said, and most games we were in it except for Buffalo and Philly.
Yeah, I mean, let's see.
Maybe Cincinnati that's the second time, but other than that, every game was pretty close.
Yeah, and this is exactly how he wanted to win. And there you go. This is the results that you get. This is the results that you're going to get. And apparently from, according to a couple of my Twitter posts that I have made over the last week or so, in which a couple of them actually did some big-ass numbers. So let me find
He's famous, guys, remember.
You said what?
He's famous, remember that.
Oh, here you go.
He's famous, guys. Jeff Kirby at Twitter.
I ain't that famous. I ain't famous at all. Let's be honest here. Faith, I think you're more famous on Twitter than I am.
No, hell, no.
Okay.
I see your followers.
So I posted one tweet on Twitter, and it was incredible feat by Mike Tomlin. And it was a post that says, the Steelers have played only one game in their, which is now 257 games under Mike Tomlin, where they have been eliminated from playoff contention. Only one.
That's pretty insane.
Oh, boy, the comments were absolutely toxic. And Derpy says, hear me out. We should sign Jacoby Brissett as a backup. Hold that thought. Hold that thought.
We're not there yet.
No. Hold that thought. Because I have 2 points on what he just said. I have 2. Oh,
boy.
Just real quick, going through some of the comments. Great coach. I am a Raiders fan, but this guy is by far my favorite NFL coach. Something you'll hear a lot from outside teams. And then, of course, it's all the Steelers fans. Well, show the playoff record. Blah, 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 blah. And then, then I had another tweet where I posted a TikTok from the beginning of the year where it was Mike Tomlin with the team during training camp. He said, Mike Tomlin from the beginning of the season still has me running through a brick wall. And as per usual, people saying, oh, you can't motivate to go to the playoffs, huh? This is going to be Jesus, Lord have mercy. Can we please have something nice for once in our lives? Can we please be positive for once in our lives? The only time we ever want to be negative is back in 2020 when we were having COVID tests. That's the only time in history I was okay with being negative. And in fact, I had to be positive twice. Twice! That's the only time that I was okay with being positive or with being negative. Can we please, for the love of God, please, be not so negative 24/7? My God! Yes, I understand that we haven't won a playoff game in 6 years. I get it. That has been shoved down all of our throats.
Every year. Every season.
Every fucking year. Like, come on. But goddamn, can we please not be so negative about absolutely everything? My God. All right, sorry about that. I just had to get that off my chest. All right, back to Derpy's comment real quick. So I have 2 points on this. So he said, hear me out. I think we should sign Jacoby Brissett as a backup. He's far better than Mitch or Mason. He's a backup. He's not going to start for Pickett. Well, and what he did with the Browns was very well. 2 points. Number 1, according to some people, that's who Matt Canada actually wanted as the quarterback. Now, in hindsight being 2020, looking at the way that Jacoby Brissett played, I would have loved that. I would have been okay with that. Number 2, like you said, now Jacoby Brissett did have his best year this year with the Browns in the 11 games that he played. One of them in which he beat us.
Yep.
Now, do we know if he would have gotten the same person in Pittsburgh? I don't know. Kevin Stefanski is a very offensive-minded coach. That's all he seems to care about is to have that damn Denny's menu in front of his face and not worry about anything else. That's not the offense and play calling. But, I mean, in that perspective, he looked pretty nice there. In fact, now I'm interested to go and look. Okay, let's go and look up, let's go to Google, Jacoby Brissett stats for this year. Because again, I gotta watch every single one of his games. He did not look bad. So, in 11 games, 64% completion, 2,600 yards, 12 touchdowns, 6 picks. Not the worst in the world. 2-1. A 2-1 touchdown interception ratio.
It's not bad.
It's not a bad idea. I actually don't mind that idea. Depending on how much he's willing to sign for, I might be okay with it. He seems like a guy that absolutely everyone loves. He's a veteran guy, so he might be able to give Kenny Pickett. He's not one of those. He's not going to be a disgruntled guy, apparently, like the way that Mitch Trubisky wanted to be. Hey, Mitch, by the way, you knew what you were getting into.
Yeah, he did.
Unless they quote-unquote did the same thing they did to Melvin Ingram. Which, I don't know. I think I would, whatever way you want to go with that, I kind of have a feeling that Mitch Trubisky knew what he was getting himself into.
Well, don't worry. He'll probably be cut here soon.
Which we could talk about a little bit, because I got an idea.
So.
But yeah, it's not necessarily a bad idea. You know what, Derpy? I might go tweet that. I'm going to go tweet that right now.
Oh, boy, guys. See what you did, Derpy.
I would mind the Steelers signing Jacoby Brissett as the Steelers backup QB.
You hope we
Let's
get
see
rid of
how much
Canada.
hate I might get now.
You hope we get rid of Canada. It doesn't look like he's going to be leaving as of right now.
Okay, yeah. First and foremost, I think I have a better chance of getting a six-pack.
I don't think we're going to get the cart, not Cliff Kingsbury.
I just don't simply think that Matt Canada is going anywhere. He is going. I think at the end of the day, it's going to be a mixture of two things. Number one, they are not cutting a coach to not coach, to sit at home. That ain't happening. And number two, they're going to look at this as fool's gold and say, yes, there was improvements down the stretch. Let's continue on with this. And actually, I'll add on a third point, because Mike Florio, Pro Football Talk, which a lot of people love to shit on him. I love Mike Florio. He is great. In fact, hey, Mike Florio, can someone send this to Mike Florio? Hey, Mike Florio, we would be honored to have you on here at the show one time. Would you please be willing to do that? Please and thank you. Someone send this to him. Please, for the love of God, I'm praying. I would love to have that happen. Now,
that'd be nice.
It would be very cool to have, because I do respect Mike Florio an absolute ton. But now back to a regularly scheduled program. Mike Florio did make up a comment that I didn't necessarily agree with, where he said it would hurt Kenny Pickett's minds in terms of having to learn a new offense. Well, here's my thing on it. Whether it happens in year 2 or year 3, it don't matter. He's still going to have to learn a new offense. So you know what? I would much rather have him learn a new offense, maybe have that stick for 3 years, unless you just bring in some god. The offense just becomes the second coming of 2017 all over again, and then they go off to be a head coach. Hey, Mike Tomlin, guess what? You might actually start a coaching tree, because it's 16 years later, and you have not started one. You have Kyle Shanahan. He has 75,292 coaches in that coaching tree. Sean McVay, he's been coaching for 7 minutes? And he has about 45,000 coaches in his coaching tree.
Might go to TV.
Might go to TV. Guess what? He's going to have 45,000 coaches in his quote-unquote coaching tree. Mike Tomlin, you have 0.
Yeah.
I am wound up today. I don't know what the hell is going on with me. I'm wound up today.
Yeah, you are on something today. We'll see what happens. If he's not fired by Monday or Tuesday next week, it's probably done deal. Like, he's there next season. I'll be shocked if he gets fired by March, in March or like April or even February. Late February.
2 points on that. One is an unpopular opinion, and number 2 is just a thought. The thought is you're already behind the 8 ball, because you already have teams who have fired off the coordinators. You know, they're already setting up interviews for guys. You're behind the 8 ball. I mean, who the hell knows? Say there's a list of a couple guys that you may want. And I also, actually 2 points. Number 1, also, is Pittsburgh really that desired of a place for young offensive coordinators? This seems like more of a kind of place where an old coach that wants to maybe revitalize his career, who has some experience, those are the kind of coaches I see that Mike Tomlin like. I don't see him going after the next young, hot quarterback coach or passing game coordinator or get back coach for Sean McVay, whatever the hell they want to use.
Hey, you never know.
I just don't see
it. It's very unlikely. I see what you're coming from, but it's very unlikely.
And number 2, here's my unpopular opinion. You know, the more that I think about it, the more that if we did keep Matt Canada, I'd be kind of intrigued to see what happens at the beginning of the year.
I would be too, because you went 7-2 down the stretch.
Was it pretty?
No, but we win games. That's all that matters, right?
I mean, it depends on who you're talking to at this point.
Well, exactly, but
Derpy makes 2 comments, one of them in which I appreciate because he's also continuing my agenda. Which you know what? I do want to give Champions Pose to myself real quick. I posted it, and this was another one of those tweets that went really viral for me over the weekend. And I said that I would really like to see the Steelers get Tremaine Edmonds in free agency. I hadn't really seen anyone else post that at all. And then all of a sudden, it just went absolutely bonkers.
Everybody started wanting to saying it.
I'm pretty sure even Vince Williams liked the tweet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure Vince Williams liked that tweet to me, for God's sakes. So I guess congratulations to me and all my success, but
Yeah, I told you, you're famous.
Oh, here you go. But no, I loved it how, hey, talked about Mark Cabali earlier. He even asked Terrell Edmonds himself. He even asked him about it. We would all love it. It would be an absolute dream. It would be a dream to have Tremaine Edmonds come to the Steelers and play linebacker for the Steelers. In fact, now I got to go back to the tweet again. Now I got to do it again.
Oh my gosh. Now let's say you do sign Tremaine Edmonds. Do we go draft a linebacker still? Or do we still keep one? That means you get rid of...
I don't think it would be as necessary. I don't think you would have to... In fact, here, now I gotta go and find the tweet. Where was it? So now, because if I don't, I'm just gonna lose my damn mind. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, here we go. I said re-sign Terrell Edmonds and Cam Sutton. Bring in Tremaine Edmonds to free agency. Draft an offensive tackle, corner, and interior defensive lineman with the first 3 picks. That would be a big-time W offseason for the Steelers.
That's a pretty good plan. Yeah.
I also have a pretty good plan of losing weight, but we also see how that's going.
For your free agency plan, it's a pretty good plan. But as of now, depending on who they cut, who they resign, I don't know.
Okay. So we're going to play a game here. Because, as you can see, I am completely on one today. So here we go. We're going to play a game. So I have a salary cap calculator currently here on my laptop. Okay. So let's talk about some possible players that you can cut or restructure or whatever.
I can tell you who they can restructure.
Huh?
I can tell you who they can restructure.
Number 1, William Jackson III. Or just completely cut him. Because if you could cut him pre-6-1, which let's fact do that now, submit. You would gain about $12 million in salary cap. So, okay. You do that.
So would you rather have Ahkello Witherspoon or William Jackson?
I'm not. I don't bring the idea of maybe more of this trying to bring it back just on a cheaper deal. So let's just go off there. Okay, Mitch Trubisky. Are we just completely cutting him, or
Oh, he's gone. Bye.
Oh, cut or trade?
Cut. He's gone.
Cut. Goodbye. Okay, so that adds in about another couple million to salary cap. Name another player you would like to maybe cut, or whoever. Restructure.
Restructure their contract?
Yeah.
I could see Minka or TJ Watt getting their contract restructured.
Okay, let's have some fun with that. Let's go.
One of those two. It could be one of those two. I don't know if it'll be both of them, but it's possible that one of those two players will get restructured.
Okay, so let's go to Minka. We'll do restructure. So it's a restructured deal. So he has a base salary of $13.4 million this year. Non-prorated bonuses. How much? So if they turn what, $9 million into a signing bonus?
Yeah, that's just for
Okay.
$9 million, just for fun.
Okay. So let's go. Wait, let's go. Okay, I don't know. This thing's just not wanting to work out so well. Okay. So right now, and then let's see here. Blah blah blah.
Derpy, I don't know if Bush and Spillane will both be gone. I have a feeling one of them will stay.
And I could tell you who was not going to be back, and his name rhymes with Mevin Mush.
I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back.
Oh,
I'm just going to leave that out there. I'm just going to leave it out there.
You know what?
I would
I'm
not
causing controvery right now.
listen.
I'm going
I love Devin Bush. I'm a big fan of him, but I'm just saying he's cheaper. I'll take. Listen, we'll see.
here. You
I
know
don't
what?
know.
I'm causing controversy on the Bird app right now.
Go for it. No,
Here,
go ahead.
I'm gonna tweet on the Renegade Roundtable Twitter account right now.
I will not be surprised if Devin Bush is back on this team. I will not. Spillane. It's going to be Spillane or Bush being gone. One of them's going to be gone, but one of them's going to stay, in my opinion.
If
Miles Jack being cut, what they're talking about is just for cap saving purposes, because if you do that, let's say you get rid of all three of them, that means we were definitely drafting a linebacker round 2. And maybe even round 1.
I just posted it on the Renegade Roundtable Twitter. At you just now. I wouldn't be surprised if Devin Bush is back with the Steelers in 2023.
I will not.
Oh boy. What's up, Steel Black? Also, how the hell are you?
He was talking about Miles Jack and why they want him to cut. He played okay this season. I don't know why people are saying that, but that means you would have to draft a linebacker within the first 3 rounds.
Now, he's a guy that I wouldn't mind restructuring his deal too.
Exactly. Which I think that's more likely of doing.
So, you have some ways to make some salary.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You have some ways to make some... And depending... I mean, especially Cam Hayward. Cam Hayward has proven that he will do it. I think they might ask him, say, hey, you want to restructure again? You know, I could totally see him doing that because he has a $22 million salary cap hit right now.
Yeah.
Hey, I can see him doing it. Why not?
Yeah, Derpy, I don't want Miles Jack cut either. I think you'll be good on this team, you know.
And on top of that, with already the lack of depth that you're probably going to have at linebacker, you need to keep...
with Mark Robinson needs more impact, more playing time because
I could see them keeping Spillane because he just seems like one of those guys that Mike Tomlin loves.
And that's why I said they could keep one or the other. One of them's gonna go. Bush or Spillane is gone. I can see it being more Spillane than Bush, but as of right now, I won't be surprised if Devin Bush is back on the team. If he is, then if he's not,
I just don't see it because I don't think he wants to come back either. I mean, for God's sakes, the last 2 weeks, he's only played 5 defensive snaps.
Yep, that's true.
He's basically become a platoon guy in baseball.
Yeah, I get it. But you never know in these days. I might be completely wrong, which I won't be the first time.
Listen, cut Kendrick Green. Oh God, I think we would love to see that. However, I mean, never mind. Yeah, go ahead and cut his ass. Get him out of here.
Because Kendrick Green, he's not.
Here,
because think about it. If you draft a left tackle, Dan Moore's a good backup.
Here, we're gonna have some fun here. So we're gonna write on this little sticky note here.
Oh my God.
Green. So right here, this right here is Kendrick Green. Right here, you see that, right? It says green.
Yes.
Yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and cut your bitch ass. There you go. 2023 has just got me going wild. Derpy says we just don't have that Hall of Fame linebacker that can impact this. Stay in the middle of the field and read the QB and intercept because the middle of the field. Well,
unfortunately, 2 injuries. One for back then Ryan Shazier. He was a great linebacker. Unfortunately, till that injury ended his season, and then I think Devin Bush, if he never had that ACL tear, I think he plays the way he usually plays.
So here's my thing when it comes to linebackers. Now, there's a couple people who, like, for an example, Chris Muller from 93.7 A Fan. He's one of those guys that doesn't necessarily believe that linebackers are as important.
Ooh.
He's not. I mean, look at what Baltimore just did. They just signed Roquan Smith, 5 years, $100 million. Which you want to talk about as some controversies over there in Baltimore. Signing a linebacker to $20 million a year. Oh boy, there's some controversy over there for you in Baltimore. However, so you have that, and then there's just some teams like here in Cleveland. They do not value linebackers here at all. They do not care about linebackers. And here's the thing. I think in this Steelers defense, linebackers are so vital.
Oh yeah,
they're important. And when they're going to try to turn Mark Robinson into the next Vince Williams. But I would love to, and this is where having a guy like Tremaine Edmonds would come in and be so amazing, because he's one of those guys. He's a sideline to sideline guy. He's still young,
and he can cover.
For the most part, he's going to play. So here, oh my god, I just had a dream. I just had an idea.
Oh boy.
So you're already thinking about bringing back Tremaine Edmonds or Terrell Edmonds and bringing in Tremaine Edmonds, right? Cool, great. Maybe bring back DeMonte KZ on a cheap deal, because if you can get him there, because he when he played was not bad at all. You know how much versatility that brings you? You know how, I mean, for God's sakes, if you want to have it, so to where you
I know where you're going with it.
Yeah, you could have maybe both Edmond brothers in the box. You still have KZ out there. Minka's going to be Minka. He's going to roam around. So you have a bunch of speed, a bunch of coverage, and you have guys that still could tackle? Oh, boy, oh, boy. Oh, Jesus, this is a dream. This makes me wish I had a PS5 so I could go play Madden and do this in real life or in Madden.
Yeah, it's. I need to see what you're saying. That'll be a good. Both Edmonds in the box, KZ at the strong safety. That's interesting.
So Derpy says if we go linebacker at 17 or 32, which I don't think that's happening at all, Nolan Smith, please, or Jack Campbell. Here's what I truly think is going to happen.
As of now.
And we're going to try. I'm trying to limit the amount of draft talk because, I mean, we have 4 months to talk draft.
Oh, yeah.
We have plenty of time to talk draft. I think for now, I would like for them to go offensive tackle at 17. That's the premier position. In a spot where I don't think the depth is as high as corner. You have the 32nd pick. So on night 2, on that Friday night, you're going to have the first pick of the second round. We'll see what kind of corners are around. Would like to see them go after a corner.
Joey Porter Jr.
Maybe.
If he's the second round. I hope so.
Yeah, I mean, he's a possibility. I mean, I know at this point, it seems like the hype on Christian Gonzalez is just only going up. So,
well, don't be surprised with Joey Porter Jr. being up there. He could be the first round pick as well.
I mean, yeah. I mean, Kaylee Ringo is obviously up there. Antonio Johnson, Cam Smith. I mean, there are some guys.
Mm-hmm.
There are some guys out there that you can get with that 32nd pick. And with that, what is it? About 50th overall pick. With that, with the your original second round pick. Maybe toss around the idea of Noah Sewell. Maybe if you want to go interior defensive line.
Noah Sewell, I can see.
Although
Henry
in the scenario
Tutu.
that I'm talking with, I don't know if they're going to be looking at a linebacker all that much. They might want to look at that into a possible interior defensive line, one of those situations.
Mm-hmm.
So
we'll see how it goes. There's going to be a lot of draft talk. Could be the Alabama linebacker Henry Tutu. I forgot how to say his name, but he'll be Tutu. That's another name to keep an eye out for. But as of now, like I said, it's tough of where they're gonna go. It's still too early. Once the combine goes, you have a better idea of what's gonna happen.
Yeah, and obviously, like I said, we're gonna have 4 months to talk draft. We're gonna have a lot of time to talk draft. We're gonna have some fun with this. I mean, we have 2 mock drafts planned, maybe a third, maybe. We might look into that, see how we think things are going to go in the first round. And then obviously I need to start looking, I'm starting to do my little research and stuff. We got there's going to be a lot of drafts coming up. So don't worry. And then obviously you got free agency. That's going to be huge, and just seeing where things go and all that.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, I'm probably only going to do the first 2 rounds, first 3 picks, because that's all I know. And that's all I care about, as honestly, for me. If you do 7 rounds, God bless you. I don't know how you do it, but jeez.
Here real quick. So someone on Twitter, Mike Tomlin is my coach, just like the tweet about your Devin Bush. So,
huh? Mike Tomlin, a fan account.
A Mike Tomlin fan account. Apparently he likes your idea of bringing back Devin Bush. Oh boy, you know what? I might actually turn that into a poll.
Boy.
Oh, that's gonna be even better.
I already know what's gonna be.
Oh, I might do that after the show, though. But you know how we could possibly get another 2nd round pick?
No.
Okay, Derpy and Steel Black, I got a question for you. If a team offered you a 2nd round pick, a 2023 2nd round pick for Deontay Johnson, would you take it?
Say no.
Because
it's the dumbest
I have
question
the numbers.
I've heard.
I have the numbers.
Oh my god.
Because I did a poll.
We're gonna go by poll numbers.
And this one, for me, this actually got a decent amount of votes.
Yeah, I know you're famous.
Oh, here you go. Here you go. I asked on Twitter, if you were offered a 2023 2nd round pick for Deontay Johnson, would you take it? Derpy says yes in the comments.
Oh, hell no.
57.2% say yes.
Hell no.
And Derpy says in a heartbeat.
Not in a... Oh, hell no. It
Steel
better
Black
be number
says he needs a
33.
first and a second. Yeah, I think hell will freeze over before a team gets a first and a second for Derpy. Or for
Not Steel gets it. Yeah, come on.
For Deontay. But,
listen. With Deontay Johnson, to everyone going into his cryptic tweets, what do you guys have a job? Please, what are you guys doing? Checking this man's following, who he follows, seeing that the Steelers, he's gonna follow the Steelers, and then a couple days later, he follows the Steelers because of all this interaction. It's so dumb. He's not getting traded. Whoever said that is an idiot.
Oh boy! I don't know. This just makes Oh, this is just great. This is just wonderful. We're 3 days into the offseason. Are we this freaking bored already? Oh yeah. My God.
Just because he didn't score this year doesn't mean he's bad.
Now, here's what I will say about...
I get he drops the ball. I'm going on a rant. I'm sorry.
Oh, here we go.
I get he's been dropping the ball, but he's our guy that can get open a lot. More than George Pickens, Pat Freiermuth, anyone else of those receivers. He gets open very quick. I get it's so inconsistent, but what are we going to do? I don't want to trade him. You can't just trade him after one season, extending and paying the guy. Guys are wild.
So listen. So here's my thought process on this. I'm not one of those people who is going to be... I'm not a Deontay hater.
Oh, of course not.
Oh, some people are.
I know.
A lot of people are, in fact, actually. At the end of the day, while Deontay... I mean, we look at his numbers. 86 receptions, 882 yards, 0 touchdowns, 10.3 yards of reception. I think if you were to take 4 of those receptions and put them as touchdowns, and you read them as 86 receptions for 882 yards and 4 touchdowns, well, yes, you would still like for him to have 1,000. Things would look a whole lot different.
Well, of course.
And while, yeah, and obviously, yes, I understand why they maybe wouldn't. But I just thought it would be a fun topic to where it's like, listen, if
Yeah, if
you wanted to do that.
Once you bring out a topic about some Steelers players, you know how Steeler Twitter is and fans are. Go over the top.
Oh, boy. Yeah. If you were going to do that, then I would entertain the idea of drafting a receiver. Of course. Because, obviously, from what we saw from George Pickens, and he had 52 receptions for 801 yards, 15.4 yards per reception. It's like 4th or 5th in the NFL. I lied. 9th.
Oh my God.
I lied.
Jesus.
If they just wanted to just absolutely go bananas and just have 3 second-round picks. Now, do I think it would happen? I mean, for God's sakes, the Bears did trade practically a first-round pick for Chase Claypool, but we also see the Bears are a completely poor organization. I also did see where Hollywood Brown went for a first-round pick. Now, I get that's draft night. Draft trades can sometimes be a little bit wild.
Oh, my God.
Also,
Derpy, you're wild, man. No way you saying that right now. There's no way you're putting Steven Sims as a wide receiver over Deontay.
Yeah, see, that I got to disagree with. Now I think, now I got to throw the flag.
Just because he's inconsistent doesn't matter. He gets open almost all the time.
Unnecessary.
Stats show
that. What the fuck is that?
Huh?
I'm throwing a flag on that comment. Unnecessary. What the fuck is that?
No way. Just because he's inconsistent. I don't agree. Don't agree at all.
I don't agree with that at all. And also, obviously, we don't know what Calvin Austin's going to be like. We don't know. He didn't.
And we don't know that. And that's the thing with you don't know. Okay. All right.
And listen, it was more of just an idea to throw around.
Oh, I know. I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at, a lot of people just want this to happen. It's dumb.
Now,
we haven't seen Calvin Austin yet. We haven't seen what he done yet. And I think we're going to sign a receiver more than draft one. And we're not getting Jordan Addison. I'm going to say it every time we're on the show. I don't care. We're not getting Jordan Addison.
Yeah, I'll just kind of put it this way. I'm going to be probably a guest on a podcast here in the next couple months. And someone that I know wants that to happen. And let's just say I can't wait. I can't wait. I'll explain that one to you off the air.
No, just because. Oh, my God, bro. Did you see the top 10 of receivers that dropped the ball? I'm sure there's a lot more bigger names than Deontay Johnson dropping the ball.
Listen, the drops, drops, yes, they can be annoying, but I think for me what was more annoying with him was just the going backwards thing.
Yeah, that's the only thing I was annoyed about with him this season.
Here's the other thing that was really annoying me, and this is not me being mad at Deontay Johnson at all for this. The one thing that I noticed in this Browns game that was kind of pissing me off is every time they wanted to go deep with Deontay Johnson.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the play call or I don't know why they did that, but
he's not. There's a difference when you have Antonio Brown, who's the same height. There's a difference when he does it because obviously we know he's gonna go up and get it.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have a guy in George Pickens who's 6'3", who is literally a menace to society, to NFL corners, I just don't see why you don't throw him the ball. Let him go up and get it. Because we can see time in and time out, he can do it. We've seen him do it.
For sure.
Just saying.
Anyways, I get it. I get it, Derpy. I get it. He drops the ball at critical plays, which unfortunately happens. Happens to everybody. We'll see how it is next season. That's all I'm going to say about it.
So what he says about, I just want a consistent offense that's quick and drives. And so, yes, obviously we want a consistent offense. I mean, go back to 2018. That offense was absolutely insane. But in terms of it being quote unquote quick, I would be okay with sustaining, somewhat longer drives. I mean, here's the thing when it comes to offenses nowadays. Everyone just sees what Kansas City does and what Buffalo does. And they just want those super explosive 60-yard passes or whatever, or ring around the rosies or whatever the hell Kansas City did. Which, by the way, that has got to be one of the most disrespectful things I have ever seen. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love it. The disrespect,
if you were a player,
the audacity. I'm about to get my Stephen A. Smith on. The audacity, the unmitigated gall for Andy Reid, Eric Bieniemy, and the Kansas City Chiefs to do that. First and foremost, I absolutely love it. But everyone wants that kind of offense. Listen, I'm okay with. I don't care exactly how the drives go as long as we're actually scoring points.
That's all that matters.
I don't give a damn if we have 4 21-play drives or 9 8-play drives that go for touchdowns. I don't care. I just want touchdowns. That's all we want.
Well, of course.
The run game was a lot better towards the second half. A lot better. So that's improvement. But it's the passing attack. Now with Kenny Pickett having a full offseason to really gain more chemistry with his guys, to if say it is Matt Canada, talk to Matt Canada. They can talk about what is Kenny like, what is he not like, add some different concepts to things. That's where the intriguingness of if Matt Canada is back for 2023 is to see how much they implement, how much more do they implement, and how does Mike Tomlin want to play this out? Is Mike Tomlin still going to be more conservative, or is he maybe going to start to let it air out a little bit more? We shall see. I don't know.
Should be aired out more. Can't be no conservative. can't be as conservative. Can't be. I'm sorry.
Pickens reminds me of Swan, just the effort on going after the ball or to catch. It's like art how Swan was. Yeah. And then Steel Black says, imagine rookie Chase Claypool with GP and Deontay being consistent. We'd be unstoppable, but it couldn't happen. Deontay was in his second year. So, he was more of, and on top of that, because he had that offense with Juju and all that, so he wasn't necessarily going to be, he wasn't fully there yet. Chase Claypool, he was good in his rookie year. And then George Pickens is George Pickens. Just hope that he can keep his mind right, keep on the grind. He's going to be a dog this year. He literally was a bulldog.
Yep.
He's a dog. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens with that. But when you look at the offense this year, you're 23rd in total offense, 24th in passing, 16th in rushing, and 26th in points per game. What do you want me to say?
It's bad.
And then here's what's a little bit shocking about the defense. So the defense was 13th in total defense, 19th in passing yards allowed in 222, not the greatest. 9th in rushing yards allowed per game in 108, which was a whole lot better than last year, and 10th in points per game allowed. So the defense actually, when you really look at it, did not play all that bad down the stretch.
It was just certain games that they didn't play good at all.
And Steel Black also saying that I got the Matt Canada hat on. Do I got to get the straw hat? Because I could go get the straw hat too, and we could go back to training camp.
No.
I could go and get the Matt Canada training camp special hat. I could go get that as well. Or maybe should I go and get the George Halas hat? Should I go back to like the 70s, 60s? Should I go and get one of those hats? Maybe I'll dress up in a suit.
Oh my God.
Be like John Madden.
Oh my.
No, but I mean, I would just love to. Here's something that I did love to see. So you were tied for first, obviously, interceptions with San Francisco, was arguably the best defense in the NFL. You had 20 interceptions. Incredible. You were also only sixth in total giveaways in 15. You only gave the ball away 15 times, which was sixth in the NFL. Again, it's exactly how Mike Tomlin wanted it. I mean, he got it. At the end of the day, we all love it when they don't turn the ball over. So that's not a stat that I'm going to shit on Mike Tomlin for. I like that. You're not giving the ball away. And you were creating turnovers. So I do like that. But do I want this off? I mean, yes, we all want this offense to turn into 2014 all over again. But I just want to see gradual improvements.
Exactly.
And here's the thing. Did you saw what I put about what Ben Roethlisberger said about Matt Canada, right?
Yes.
And for those that don't, I posted it on Twitter at Jeff_Kirby412. Obviously, right here. Go follow me. And also go follow Jarryd. Go follow him on good follows. He basically gave some praise to Matt Canada. Ben Roethlisberger did. And he mentioned how people wanted Randy Fiegner thrown, they wanted him canned after, when they were putting, he said, quote unquote, 37, 38 points a game. First and foremost, it was 1 year. Because in the 3 years that Randy Fiegner was the offensive coordinator, 2018, that was one of the top offenses in the NFL. Ben Roethlisberger passed for 5,000 yards. 2019, you had mediocre Mason and Duck Hodges. And in 2020, you had Ben Roethlisberger, who just simply did not want to throw the ball past 5 yards. So at least with Randy Fiegner's offense, at least we saw glimpses of that offense being absolutely god tier. Now, yes, we also did lose Antonio Brown, which
a lot of things that don't want to go there.
Hey, reckless speculation. Hey, B. Hey, here. What is? We'll just go ahead and use that. But yeah, at least when it came to Randy Fiegner, we saw some sorts of a NFL offense. And not what I've been calling a Friday-ish offense. But what do we know? What do we know at this point anymore?
It is what it is.
So I got one more thing that I want to talk about before we get on out of here. So the NFL announced that the neutral site was going to be Atlanta for a possible Kansas City Buffalo AFC title game. Here's why I have an issue with that. This is just going to turn into Super Bowl light. My theory is that they've had this kind of idea in their back pocket, and they've been waiting for a chance to use it. That's exactly what they're doing. Now, if they would have done this in Pittsburgh or Lambeau or Cleveland or Chicago or somewhere like that, where the elements are still there and it's going to be as close to the kind of game that you would get whether it was in Arrowhead or in Buffalo for the weather. But when you're putting it in a dome in Atlanta, that means of two things. Number one, see how the NFL draft has gone, where it's just basically turned into one big circus of places to go, where it was always in Radio City Music Hall.
Yeah.
And then 2015 or 2016, they moved it. The first city was in Philadelphia, and then it's just gone over everywhere. because I've been there. The one in Cleveland 2 years ago. Yeah, I was there. And number 2, putting Kansas City and Buffalo in an AFC title game in a dome where there's turf and no weather conditions. Oh, they're going to get what they want. They're going to get a whole bunch of offense. You remember that game? The AFC, what was it, divisional game? Yeah, the AFC title game, or the AFC divisional game with those two last year? I think we all remember it. How many points was scored in like 2 seconds? 45 points in like 2 seconds, it felt like? Yeah, imagine that.
In a dome.
This is going to become a thing where they're going to turn the AFC and NFC title games into neutral sites, and this is just going to become Super Bowl light. And I think that's going to be one big kick to the huevos for NFL fans. Because at the end of the day, all it's going to mean is more moolah. It's more revenue.
And that number 1 seed, it doesn't,
fans wanted the number 1 seed for 2 things: a first round bye and home field playoffs. So what's the point? I mean, yes, you would like to. So now you're only going for a first round bye
and 1 game, and 1 game at home. That's it.
So what would be the point of necessarily fully fighting for that? So if that's the case, might as well give the second seed a second. But I don't like this. I'm hoping that this is just a one-time deal, and they go back to consistent. Because having an AFC title game, and whether it was Arrowhead or Foxborough or when Pittsburgh's had it or Buffalo, imagine those. The environment there is just on another level.
Yep.
It's just on another level. The atmosphere, the environment, just the everything is just, there's something different about it.
Well, for anything, Steeler fans travel well wherever they play.
Buffalo, they travel very well. Bills Mafia travels very well.
So that that's all I can say to that. But it is what it is.
But he's Derpy says it needs to be at Canton. Yeah, that would have happened just because there's not enough. That stadium is just way too small. I've actually been in that stadium. I actually went there last year to go and see a Dave Chappelle show there. It's a small ass stadium. No, never mind. I was getting ready to say I've played on that stadium, but never mind. No, I haven't. But yeah, it's you wouldn't be able to. It's perfect for like the Hall of Fame game, but no, not for an AFC title game.
No. Yeah. Oh well.
But I mean, other than that, do you got anything else that you want to get off of your chest?
I just want to say, for some basketball reference, welcome back, Jonathan Isaac. Played in the G League game. Hopefully, we'll see you in the NBA really soon.
All right, so some quick news. So the Patriots announced that they are searching for an offensive coordinator, so therefore they let go of Matt Patricia. And they are extending Jarryd Mayo, who will receive a new deal and stay with the coaching staff in New England. So teams that were looking for a new defensive coordinator, Jarryd Mayo is off the list. And also that means Matt Patricia is gone, canned. Probably should have been that way. Should have never been offensive coordinator to begin with. Yet again, the Steelers lost to that offense. So you know what? Joke's on us.
Yep.
And another thing too, I don't know if you guys saw, so Lamar Jackson tweeted out earlier, which by the way, that was definitely not his actual tweet. Someone tweeted that for him, let's be honest here. Basically saying that he suffered a PCL grade 2 sprain and borderline being grade 3. So he's just basically defending his position on why he still hasn't played. Partially, yes, I do believe that, yes, part of that is the injury. But also, we all know he wants the bag.
Wants the money. I know, money talks.
Would you rather go to Cleveland then? Well, yeah, I would love the AFC title game to go to Cleveland. I live 30 minutes away from there. It's a beep bop up the highway, and I'm good to go.
Yeah.
But it'll be also the first AFC title game Cleveland has seen, I think, at least in a long time. But in terms of Lamar, here's the thing with Lamar. One quick thing. I don't think that it's the Deshaun Watson contract that he's pissed off about in terms of him not getting his money.
No.
It's the Kyler Murray.
Yep.
The Kyler Murray contract is pissing him off because when you look, if you're Lamar Jackson, I totally see where he's coming from. Saying, what the hell has he done?
Yeah.
I've won an MVP.
Done more.
I've won more playoff games than him. Who the hell he's been to one playoff game and got absolutely obliterated, demolished in that game. So what's going on here? Why can't I get my bag? So if you look at it in that perspective, you could understand it a little bit more.
And you better hope they pay him. That's a big topic. They paid Roquan Smith that, buddy.
I mean, look at it this way. If they don't pay him, then what are you going to do? But,
who's going to understand?
Hey, how you guys doing? So,
Cincinnati.
Thank you everyone for tuning in. I hope you guys do enjoy. And if you guys did, smash the like button, hit the red subscribe button, drop a comment. Obviously, it's been a hell of a show. I did not have a single sip of alcohol, and I just went absolutely dumb today. So yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy some of the entertainment. And like I said, we got a lot of draft stuff. I might even start recording some draft highlight reactions tonight for you guys. But until then, hope to see you guys in the next episode. Jarryd, you have a great weekend. You guys have a great weekend. Derpy, Steel Black, whoever else is watching, have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe. Peace out.